Hi, my name is Sydney Stratton, and this is my project on child sex trafficking in the United States of America. Child sex trafficking in the eyes of Americans tends to seem like a problem that concerns third world countries, fitting into the same category as child marriage and the ability to access an education. But in reality, the United States is one of the largest contributors to the sex trade. Because sex trafficking is largely underground, most of what we know is based on statistics. The human trafficking industry has surpassed the sale of arms by 20.9 victims, and human trafficking is a $32 billion per year industry, both statistics provided by the U.S. government. And the average age entry into the trade is 13 years old. There is an estimated 60,000 current victims of human trafficking in the United States, and an estimated 300,000 Americans under the age of 18 are lured into the sex trade annually. With the rise of the internet and the anonymity that it provides, this has given the child sex trafficking industry to flourish in a wealthy country like the United States, where almost every citizen owns a computer. This may leave you wondering, why aren't all of our country's resources devoted to solving this problem if it seems as if one of the largest humanitarian crises of modern times? The answer can most likely be traced back to the stigma of victims of human trafficking. In the majority of the public's mind, victims of sex trafficking err more on the side of runaways and girls looking to make money versus someone who is in need of aid. An example of this is the recently famous case of Centoya Brown, who, when she was 16, had run away from her adoptive family and lived with a pimp who she killed. The jury denied her claims that the killing was in self-defense. Garnering support from A-list celebrities such as Rihanna and Kim Kardashian, this case launched the United States into a discussion of what a trafficking victim really looks like. And while statistics do show that victims tend to have similar life experience, such as 57% had been sexually abused as children, 49% had been physically assaulted, 85% were victims of incest as girls, and 40% of the above were kicked, hit, beaten, raped, or threatened and/or attacked by a deadly weapon by a member of their household, no one is immune to trafficking. Similar to stated before, the rise of the internet has given perpetrators a space to expand the industry. Thus, as time progresses, so does the internet's capability, and with that, the number of human trafficking victims. The number of human trafficking cases were reported to the National Human Trafficking Hotline in 2012 were 3,279, in 2013, 4,844, in 2014, 5,042, in 2015, 5,526, and in 2016 were 7,572. With North America being one of the largest contributors to the industry, in 2018 the United States towered over other countries with 24.52% of content, with the next highest country being the United Kingdom at 5.49%. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children predicted that 26 million sexual abuse images and videos were uncovered from the dark web in 2016 alone, and the Department of Justice found that on just one Tor website, 1.3 million images subjected children to violent sexual abuse. At this point, you may be wondering what kind of person is contributing to this business. Contrary to public opinion, they are more average than expected. Instead of a frightening ex-con, they are more like businessmen. They are in all walks of life. A 17-year-old survivor from the Midwest, trafficked when she was 15, said about more than the 150 men who purchased her in a month. Some could be upstanding people in the community. It was mostly people in their 40s, living in the suburbs, who were coming to get the stuff that they were missing. Fortunately, there are many amazing organizations dedicated to combating child sex trafficking, such as Truckers Against Trafficking, which works to educate truck drivers on the signs of a human trafficking victim and what to do if they feel that they've encountered someone who may be in danger. Because truck drivers commonly encounter trafficking victims that attempt to travel cross-country with their captors in a low-security way. Another way of combating trafficking is through the medical field, which largely overlaps with victims. The National Institute of Health works to train doctors on what are the right questions to ask, being non-judgmental, and building trust with the victim. Time is one of the biggest factors in changing the situation for these kids. Something that the average individual can do to fight against trafficking is support organizations that focus on all aspects of trafficking, such as the demand, rescuing victims, as well as helping them back into a normal life and educating the public. Vote for representatives that prioritize putting an end to human trafficking, as well as vote for policies that do things such as decriminalize victims and hold buyers accountable, as to address the demand. And finally, educate yourself and others about commercial sexual exploitation and its effects on individuals and communities. In conclusion, child sex trafficking is a real and present danger in the United States, but can be fought with widespread support from American citizens to put an end to trafficking. Educating yourself and others on things like what a real trafficking victim looks like, aside from the stigma and how large of a problem it is in the US, can be the key to saving lives and livelihoods, as well as voting and supporting people from organizations who are willing to allocate the necessary energy into solving this crisis. Human trafficking can and will be stopped, but only if people like you are dedicated to creating real change. Just as every vote counts, every voice does too.